Lost 45, a version of Roll Over Beethoven tells Tchaikovsky the news, the classical musicians rolling in their grave as rock and roll takes over. The Chuck Berry song back in 1956, redone by the Velaires. Let me bring that up for you. Billboard's Hot 100, August 26, 1961, at number 81, up 11 from 92 the previous week. 7 weeks on Billboard's Hot 100. Velaires' version of Roll Over Beethoven from Sioux City, Iowa. That's where they're from. They started out as a group called the Screamers back in 1958. They changed their name to the Flares, but then they performed at this. They performed in a ballroom. It was called the Velaires Ballroom. It's a legendary place to play in Des Moines, Iowa, and they changed their name to the Velaires. Velaires came to Velaires, and they released Roll Over Beethoven. Now they originally released their version of it off the Palm record label. That's when they called themselves the Flares. But then when they changed their name to the Velaires, and they signed with another record company called Jamie Records, they re-released Roll Over Beethoven, and their version went to number. They were a 4 or 5 man band, by the way. Their version went to number 51 on Billboard's Hot 100. Not too terribly shabby, I guess, for a group from Iowa. Supposedly the only Iowa-based band who played on American Bandstand, Dick Clark's American Bandstand. Of course, this was back when Dick Clark's American Bandstand, they were based in Philadelphia as opposed to Los Angeles. And by the way, their version of Roll Over Beethoven went to number 1 in Los Angeles, but peaked midway up Billboard's Hot 100. Chuck Berry wrote this song. His version went to number 5, number 6. It was a huge hit on R&B in 1956. Chuck Berry wrote this song as a response to his sister. He got annoyed at his sister because his sister Lucy should play, excuse me, excuse me, should play classical music on the piano. And Chuck Berry, play some rock and roll. Let's play some pop music. Chuck Berry wanted to play some pop music, so he wrote the song Roll Over Beethoven. And a lot of versions of that record. The Beatles covered it. A rave-up version by ELO in the summer of '73, which did not make top 40 here in the States. Probably one of the best remakes that ever came out by ELO. It was far more. ELO's version was far more energetic than the Velaires version. The Velaires. I'm sorry, I keep mispronouncing the word. It's Velaires. The Velaires version was more of a surf rock version as opposed to a hard, rave up rock and roll version of Roll Over Beethoven. But ELO, my goodness, they amped that song up. They caffeinated that song up big time, but did not make top 40 here in the States. But it went to number 6 in England, though. Velaires, their version of Roll Over Beethoven, coming in at number 81 on Billboard's Hot 100 of August 26, 1961.